Hi there and welcome to the next lesson for Guitarfingers Book 1, and today we're going to be looking at page 6. We're going to look at exercises 12 and 13, which now add up all the things we've learned so far, all the notes and including the bass notes, and how to use all the notes we've learned to read on the music. So these songs are just a little bit longer, so we just need to take just a little bit more time to work through them to ensure that we get nice, fluent and accurate note playing. If we start off with exercise 12, which is a variation on Andante in C, it's a play on a Giuliani song that became popular to a children's TV programme, Tales of the Riverbank I think it was. Not exactly the same as that, I've just had to adapt it to enable us to be able to play at this point in time, but eventually that would be a nice song for you to learn to play as well. We start off with a minim rest, so on pages 13 and 25 of the book we have some musical terms and a further explanation of note lengths and rest types. We start off with a 2-beat rest here, so it's the square that sits on top of the ledger line in the music stave. So we would count 1, 2, and that would be almost like an introduction counting really. We start off with a high G, so we know that we can use finger 3 or finger 4 to play high G. I'll kind of swap and vary as I feel throughout the song. It's hard to kind of focus on one finger when you're trying to read and talk at the same time, but it'll be finger 3 or 4. And the other thing to remember now is, if you can see just in the top of the page there, I've put dynamics, so P, when it's in the bold letter there, P is piano, which is quiet, and we'll see also when F appears, forte, which means loud. We have some crescendo marks, which means you start quiet and get louder over the length of the crescendo, or a diminuendo, which means you get quieter over the length of that symbol as well. We also have first and second endings, and I'll explain those when I get to that point. So we start off with a high G, so we've got G, F. Now we start with our double dots now, so this is going to be a repeated section after those two notes. 1, 2, E, F, F, G, to our G, F, and then we go back up to the main first bar after the repeat, the start repeat markers, to play the E, E again. So a nice even tempoed song, no need to rush any of the notes, we're just looking to try to get some nice dynamics in there to give some expression, some feeling to the music. And you could see there from bars 11, 12 and 13, they come under the first repeat ending. So what happens is we go back to the beginning and then we get to end of bar 10, and then the second time we jump over those bars 11, 12 and 13, we don't play them, and go on to bar 14 and bar 15. And you can see at the end of bar 15 there's two single lines, which is like an end of a section before we move to the next section. So I'll play those through and let's see how that sounds. I'll keep my voice a bit quieter so we can hear the music being played. 1, 2. Getting louder. first line now, the Ds. Second line, we've got the crescendo. Now this is bar 10. We jump over to the second ending, D crescendo. There we go, so first and second parts of the song. We move to bar 16, we've got a piano section and with some crescendos, decrescendos, so just trying to get those dynamics. So this is quite nice. If I start with a right hand index finger on note A, it means that my middle finger can go across quite comfortably to play the next note. So I start with an A, piano. A, B, E, E, C, D, E, E, A, E, 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 A, E, E, C, D, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, E, 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 C, E, B, E, A, E, 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 C, E, G, F, E, D, C, B, C. Okay, so I'll play that through just a little bit faster. I'll keep my talking down and I'll just explain which bars I'm on when I can. Starting on bar 16. Finishing off with that C there. So I hope that's helped explain the variation on C, and now we'll look at the Atoll Highlander, which is a jig, kind of a dance, in exercise 15. Again, just using all the same principles as we did before, the crescendos, dynamics, and just make sure we're counting through the correct length of notes. So we start off with a D, I'll use finger 3 this time, and that lasts for 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Now D, B's and G's. Repeat, D, B, G, A, B, C, D for 3. D, B, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, D for 3. This is bar 9, now bar 10. D, section, so the end of bar 16 now, we've got a D. Now, bar 17. G, B, D, G, B, D, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, B, D, G, A, B, C, B, A. Last line. G, B, D, G, C, so you can see there's lots of playing across the strings there, but hopefully you could see that I was walking my fingers as much as I can. I don't get too worried if I do make the odd mistake with the wrong fingering, or if I accidentally play with a double finger. I don't worry about it too much. When I'm sight reading, I just make sure that I try to play the right notes. When it comes to performing, then you just try to, as best you can, to get the correct fingerings. So the Atoll Highlanders, a great song when you start to learn to play it fast, and just take it slow to start with and break it into those 4-bar sections that you could see in the music.